Yo, this is lugnuts.guapo coming at you from Longhorn Harley-Davidson, and we have some 19s coming in, so that's what's going on in the background. Anywho, sorry I missed a week. I had some other things I had to take care of, other parts of my job here at Longhorn Harley-Davidson. They take priority over these videos, so I apologize for skipping a week, but I am back. And actually, this is the second time I'm going to record this video because the first time I had audio issues as well. So I had this already shot, and then, you know, that happened. So again, sorry. There's several things that were in play that were out of my control, but here we are. We're back, and we're going to find out how this thing does on the highway. Yep, and when you hear street, you don't necessarily think, you definitely don't think, oh yeah, that's a highway bike all the way. It's not a touring bike, it's not, you know, even a dyno would be a touring bike compared to this, right? Anywho, roll the tape. All right, cha-ching, cha-ching. And as usual, now it's starting to become tradition. I used to just keep the keys in the ignition, and now I don't even know where I put it. Now I have to take my gloves off and find a stupid key. Oh, there it is. Ugh. Huh, sorry for that. I apologize for my short-term memory. All right. So, I think I've done a video on one of these before. Oh, maybe on Maverick's page, not here. Anywho, or channel, may I say. Alright. Street 750. So, street ride. Let's get crack-a-lackin'. Alright. So, if you're not familiar with the street rod, or the street family, or lineup, whatever you want to call it, basically, you're talking about kind of like the smallest bike that Harley makes, period. It's smaller than a Sportster, it's lighter than a Sportster, the motor's smaller than a Sportster. It's a 750. Now, with that said, this motor is very much like the one on a V-Rod. Very similar, if not very close to the same. This is a high RPM bike. It's not your big B-twin cruiser that you're shifting around 3,500 RPM. This one you shift a lot higher than that. Let's get out of the way here. So once you get in the 4s and 5s, it really goes. Oh man. And I believe you can, like, I think red line on here is like 85, 9 grand, somewhere around there. It's up there. It's ridiculous. It's just this little camera. All right. So here's the deal. All right, you ready? Before we get on the highway, there's some things that I need to clear here. This is not the most comfortable bike to ride. The seat is all right. The seating position, as you can tell, my knees are a little higher than the tank, which is not my it's definitely not something that I prefer. Let's just say that. It feels a little cramped. I don't like that the pegs are pretty dang high. They're med controllers, which is nice, especially if you want to be aggressive, which is what this bike is for. It's for in-city traffic, cutting in and out, you know, going around corners quick, and it's light, so it's great. It's a fantastic bike, and it's a liquid cooled motor, much like the V-Rod, and it's absolutely fantastic. You can beat the living crap out of these motors and be totally fine. Oh man, yeah, motor wasn't even trying there. Anywho, the cramp position, the handlebars where they are, it just feels weird. It's wide and you're like leaning forward, but then again, that's what this bike is for. It's not something you can kick back and just lounge, you know. It's not a Dyna, it's not a Softail. It's its own class. And it looks, man, I'm not the biggest fan of what it looks like. I wish I could like change maybe like the this tank for sure has to go. Not a fan of that tank. Don't like where the lines are, but that's just me. It's not your traditional Harley either, so therefore it has non-traditional Harley things. As a matter of fact, speaking of which, the controllers feel very much like a metric bike. Sounds like my Honda with this exhaust, which is the stock exhaust, and it looks like a Honda. Like, not okay. Let me take that back. Doesn't look like a Honda. The switches feel like a metric bike, like a Honda or a Yamaha or whatever. Like you used to on a Harley, you have the blinker for the right on the right, and then blinker for the left on the left. This one you have this little toggle switch here that if you've used a metric bike, you're probably used to it, and it's not a big deal at all. The controllers as well feel cheaper than what you're used to seeing on a Harley. It's just the way that this is, man. It's the way that it's set up. So I mean, you're trying to keep the cost down. Other than that, I mean, those are my biggest complaints. A lot of people that ride these bikes don't understand, or they seem to forget that these bikes are meant for high RPMs. Like you're not going to enjoy the bike as much if you're constantly shifting around 3,500 RPM. There's just no power there when it comes to this bike. So yeah, you need to shift at higher RPMs. That's what this bike is meant for. That's where this bike is happy. So we're about to get here on the highway here shortly, and we'll find out how comfortable or non-comfortable. Did I say non-comfortable? I mean uncomfortable. See how comfortable or uncomfortable this bike is. So this should be interesting. This particular one is available for sale right now, by the way. So if you want to check it out at the dealership, test ride it yourself, call us here at 972-244. Oh wait, that's the wrong number. Oh yeah, 972-988-1903. Sorry, I do this for two dealerships, and sometimes I get confused. So again, talking about Ergonomics, not the most comfortable bike. It takes a second to get used to, and it's not your typical, it doesn't feel like your typical Harley, so get some getting used on that end as well. Woo boy. See, this is the thing about Dallas, man. You have drivers like that do stupid stuff like what that lady just did. Alright, so I'm at about 5,600 RPM. I'm doing about 55. The motor's not even trying. I could barely feel any vibration coming from the motor. See if I can get out of the way. It's just I want to open it up, but this is the one thing about highways in Texas. This is what you get. Like, if should I go that way, or should I just go 360? Let's go 360. Seems to be or maybe not. It's opening up this way. Ooh, that sucks. Anywho, 6,000, 7,000, 8,000 RPM, and I just shifted to fifth. I'm in fifth right now, doing 85 miles an hour, and I'm in sixth gear. There you go. That's the other thing. This thing has 6 speeds, just in case you didn't know that. 6 speeds. So at 4,500 RPM, you're doing 70 miles an hour on 6th gear. You don't feel any engine vibration, period. Zero, nada, zilch. And it's amazing. At this point on the Sportster, you're probably, you know, pushing the limits as to maybe comfort-wise, and the engine is starting to feel a little bit wound out. This one at 85, it's not even trying. And may I say, the suspension, it does have the piggyback suspension, and it does have inverted front forks, dual disc brakes on the front, which is amazing when you come to a complete stop. And man, if the ergonomics weren't bad on this thing, this would be a very comfortable bike on the highway, despite the fact that it's so light. And it's kind of windy right now, by the way. I don't feel like I'm being pushed around. Let's exit right here. No idea where I'm going, but this is where I'm decided to go. Anywho, what was I? Oh yeah, this bike is super light. And that's another thing that people say, oh, it doesn't feel like a Harley, because the weight, it just doesn't feel, you don't feel the weight. So, anywho, I keep saying anywho, I need to take that out of my vocabulary. But, the weight on this bike, the way that you can throw it around curves, it's great, especially at slow speeds, especially going around corners like really hard. And that's great, and you would think that that would be a factor on whether this bike is a pain or not to ride on the highway, but it really isn't. It really isn't. Oh man, this thing gets up there real quick. It's alright, I'm about to merge on the highway again, doing 60 in third gear, and I'm at a 6,500 RPM, no problemo. Alright. Let's see. Man, honestly, this bike is so much fun. And on highway, it's impressive. I would have never thought. Oh, I'm in fourth gear, by the way. I need to get up in sixth gear. I'm 5,000 RPM going 75. Oh, 4,700, sorry. 75 miles an hour, 4,700 RPM. Cruising like a boss, son. I honestly would see myself traveling on this thing if, and only if, I put maybe some T-bar, something, bring the bars a little higher, a little narrower, and change these pegs somehow. I don't know that there is many options on an aftermarket. Holy crap, it's windy. It is so windy. Whew. I have no idea which exit I'm supposed to take, so I'm just gonna stay in this lane. Maybe move over. Yeah, those switches get a little getting used to. It's been a while since I've messed with a setup like this, but man, honestly, change the bars, change your the way that your feet are arranged below you. It would change how this bike feels completely. Granted, that's not what this bike was designed for, but I just showed you how comfortable and how amazing this thing is on the highway. It is fantastic. It is absolutely fantastic. For as much crap as this bike gets from other people that have ridden this bike, honestly, you need to shut up, because until you ride it and ride it how it was meant to be ridden, high RPM, be ridden aggressively, like, that's how you know what this bike is for. Like, you understand this motorcycle. This motorcycle has a completely different personality from any other Harley that's been out. It honestly, as different as it is from any other Harley out there, it's amazing. It's different. It's great. That was in second gear and I hit 60 that quick. These things are quick, man. They don't get the credit that they deserve. Oh man, I honestly do want one of these so bad. Honestly, I wouldn't trade my Dyna for this. I would like to keep my Dyna and have this. Oh my gosh. Oh, this bike is fun, man. This is the one for you. Come schedule a test ride, or call us and schedule a test ride at 972-988-1903. Make it yours and get some wind therapy. Also, check us out on Instagram if you aren't already following us. That is Longhorn_HD. And on Facebook, just look us up as Longhorn Harley-Davidson. And if you haven't already and you like what you see, what you've heard, if you've gotten this far into the video, click that subscribe button right now. It helps a lot, believe that. And also we have iTunes. We're on iTunes and on SoundCloud. On SoundCloud is soundcloud.com/ml-hd, and on iTunes we're just on MLHD. So search bar MLHD right there, subscribe, and follow us. And by the way, because it's an experimental project, we don't have the opportunity to have all the episodes available, but coming soon these episodes will be here on YouTube. So anywho, that's all I got for you guys. Hope you enjoyed the review, and in the meantime, get on your Harley and get some wind therapy. Later. Oh shit, I brought this over here.